Hello, my banter kings and queens. I'm back. I know it's been a minute since I posted a YouTube video, but I have been watching and lurking. And if you've watched any of my TikToks, you know you've seen some of my comments. Right now, tonight is going to be the finale of Love Island USA. I can't believe this. But I just wanted to kind of go over some of my thoughts from Aftersun and from episode 33 and 34. And we'll just go piece by piece, okay? But please like and subscribe. This is Bits of Banter with Antoinette. Starting with episode 33, we're just going to go over for this episode over the actual conversations between the parents or between the families and the contestants. First, I think Nicole went first. And honestly, I skipped through a lot of this. It's Nicole and Kendall's family. It just really wasn't that interesting, honestly. I did see that Nicole's father was like a bit more emotional, which felt really sweet. And, you know, she got to talk a little bit about how in the past she's dated people that were really toxic. And she was telling her dad, she's like, I don't think he's like that at all. Like, you know what I've been through. So that was a different side to Nicole that we have not seen that I thought was really interesting. And then her meeting Kendall's mom and sister was sweet. His sister is gorgeous. Honestly, I'm like, she should be on Love Island next. She really should. Moving on, because honestly, I'm just not that interested. So moving on. So then we have Aaron and Kaylor. And Kaylor meets, talks to her parents and her sister and her brother. And I thought it was hilarious how her brother was like, can you please stop crying? And I'm all for someone who's like in touch with their emotions, but Kaylor has been nonstop crying. I just don't understand how she has any more tears. I just don't. I don't get it. But her mom does talk to her about how she feels like Aaron did wrong and things like that. But I don't know if anybody else saw her Facebook post. Her Facebook post was very much giving a lot of smoke about Aaron, saying that he's not the right one for her, pretty much saying that he wasn't even attractive, that she was surprised that Kaylor even gave him a chance because he's not even the attractiveness that she insists on. That's literally was her word, that she insists on. So I thought that was really interesting that all of this smoke that she gave on Facebook was not at all what was given in the video chat. She pretty much tells Kaylor, I trust your judgment, and if this is who you like. And then she meets Aaron, and they kind of say like, you messed up, stuff like that. And he does what he normally does, like kind of bulldozes over, like, I know I messed up. And then his mom and stuff come on the screen, and pretty much Kaylor's mom and his mom have been talking, and they formed a name for them, Kaylar, which we already have a name for that couple. It's Karen. Okay, guys? But they had already formed a name for them, which was interesting. And his mom did not seem at all thrilled. I think even Aaron said, she's like, I know you have more to say. And I think she did. I think she definitely had a lot more to say. Pretty much like, don't embarrass me, boy. And you have been embarrassing me. But then Kaylor's mom ends up saying that she loves them together, and that she's glad that, he's atoned and taken accountability. And I'm like, when has he done that? He didn't do that at all. So I was just very, very surprised. Let's see, let's see if I have it here. Like, none of the smoke that she gave in the Instagram post was there at all. One of the things she said, July 6th, my beautiful angel, I'm so proud of you for staying grounded and knowing you deserve better. Oh, Kaylor, how I wish I could be there for you, holding you when you cry, kissing your forehead, and assuring you that everything is going to be okay in God's time. Baby girl, you will find your love, your best friend, a man that would ride or die for you, a man that is selfless, only concerned with your needs, desires, wishes, and forget about their own self. It's not hard to find a loyal man. Sadly for you, the man I'm talking about is not Aaron. He's a boy. You presented yourself tonight with class, authenticity, and empowerment to show you deserve better. And you know that from your past. Every inch of me, whatever. So she talks more about that. And then she says, Aaron didn't think about your feelings, only his own. It's just like, so she had so much smoke for him there. And then there was another one too. I don't know if I have it. Honestly, I was shocked initially when you selected Aaron for courtship. The absence of physical traits, appearance you'd otherwise insist on or must have prior to considering date potential. And even more astounding, his fragile emotional dysfunction. A caveat to verbal outbursts, tantrums, utter disrespect, and consistent crying bouts reminiscent of a hormonal teenage boy. Sincere concern, just saying. My beautiful girl will be thankful for laughter and novel experiences you and Aaron shared and be grateful that his self-serving motive and ingenuity are blatant and transparent for the world to see now. Like, so, and then when she got on the screen, there was none of that. There was none of that. And I just don't understand what she's talking about. Even the movie night stuff, like she saw he didn't take any accountability, and all of a sudden she's saying that he did. So I was just very confused by that. And yeah, pretty much I was just like, okay, so this is where Kaylor gets her lack of a backbone, obviously. Because even Kaylor, she had like all this smoke to say, and then she didn't do that when Aaron came back in the villa. She folded right away. And I think that's exactly what happened with Mom. As soon as Aaron was in sight, she folded right away. So good riddance for them. Then Serena sees her sister and her brother and her niece, and it was so cute. And even her niece saying, like, you ate that. Like, then she was talking about the way that she, you know, with when Cordell came back from the casa, they were really supportive, you know, and teary, and they were saying that we were so proud of you and you've handled yourself so well and you've been your true self. And honestly, I feel like out of everybody, Serena really has been her full self this whole time. Like, there's no confusion that this is who she is. Then she goes and she asked all of them how they feel about Cordell. And all of them said like they'd like to meet him first before they make any decisions. But her sister did say that she was disappointed with how he acted in Casa, but that he has, you know, like, but that he has, she likes that he's taken accountability. Then when she calls Cordell over, Cordell comes like literally running, like throws the paddle. And I love that they're just so flipping cute together. I love them together. I love them. So they meet, Cordell's there, and they give him a little bit of smoke, a little bit more. Honestly, they gave him more smoke than Kaylor's parents gave Aaron, which I was like, what? And I'm not saying Cordell was deserving of it. And even the brother, pretty much, I guess Cordell had said a couple curse words, and he's like, hey, chill on the curse words in front of my, you know, sister and niece, which I think is a very Southern thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And he apologized. And then you see, then they read a letter from her mom. Serena's mom was just really sweet. And she said, hey, I'm really glad, Cordell, that I didn't have to come over there and throw you in the fire pit myself. It's just so, so cute. And then when Cordell's godmother got on, they were just being all giddy and stuff. And even the godmother was like, wow, I've never seen Cordell smile like this. You guys are just so giggly and goofy together. I love it. Like, it just was really, really sweet. And even I felt like Serena's brother kind of softened a little bit. And he's like, oh, Cordell, the question for you, what are your long-term goals? It just was really, really cute. Then Serena leaves so that Cordell's father comes up on the screen, and he ends up talking to Cordell about how, like, you know, hey, like, also telling Serena, I see that you don't play, and that's good. And I'm like, yeah, like, he respects her strength. And even Cordell said, I know you, like, Cordell said, I love it. I love a strong woman. He's like, and you've got one, which I just thought was great. But pretty much he ends up saying, he's like, it's going slow is good. You have to build that friendship, and anything that's good is worth the wait. And I do feel like Cordell's family really, even when Odell, his brother, comes up, really instilled like, hey, her slow pace is really good. This was something like anything working for is worth waiting for. Like you want to build a friendship. That's what his brother said when his brother Odell Beckham came up. I was like, wow. And Serena had left the room by this point, and he ended up talking to his brother about Serena, and his brother was like, wow, I'm so proud of you. And like, like you and Serena look real, I'm really rooting for you guys. And all these people have been coming up to me and like talking about like, oh, have you seen your brother? Have you seen your brother? And you could tell Cordell just felt so happy, and he was so giddy. And then when he was like, he's like, do you want to meet her? And he's like, of course. Cordell looked so unbelievable. It just was so cute. He looked so happy, and he ran out and he's like, Rena! And then she comes running. It just was so sweet. So sweet. These are our winners, guys. These are our winners. They have to be. If they're not, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with our lives if they're not our winners. But Serena meets Odell, and he says pretty much the same thing about how like pretty much complimenting on her pace, complimenting them on how he thinks they're really going to work out. And it just was really, really sweet. That's basically what this episode was about, was these family dynamics. And yeah, the best part was Serena and Cordell's families meeting each other. It was the best part. It was the sweetest. And I just can really see them on the outside. And then at the end, they end up talking later, and Cordell was just like, hey, I'm not trying to move fast, but like, I really see us working on the outside. And this just really made me excited for that. This man wants her so bad. Like, and I just can tell that they're in love. They're falling in love, at least. Yeah. So episode 34. This one was interesting because there really wasn't much that went on, honestly. They had this challenge in these wedding dresses, which was like not that interesting. And it was so cute, except for Janae in this challenge. And she just kept being like, they're supposed to like bury their head in this cake. And somehow she found a fork and just eating with the fork and be like, get it, Kenny, get it, Kenny. Oh my God. It was so cute. And then they end up having this, like, after this, they end up having this, basically this Last Supper. And everyone said really sweet things to each other. And Serena was like, oh, they're just jealous of my man. And he's like, oh, she's talking about me. And they are, oh my God, Serena and Cordell are just so cute together. They're so cute. And even Janae keeps bringing up, like, she's like, well, when we get married, and you know what? The only time Kenny makes a face with that is when she says, you guys are all invited. And I feel like it's because he's like, oh yeah, like, not all these people are invited. It's not that he's questioning that they're getting married. Okay. This man really likes her. And let's stop questioning that, because he really likes Janae. It's just getting rude at this point. She is beautiful. She's a catch, and he really likes her. So we're getting to, now we're going to go to the part that we were all waiting for. Who is going to be our final four? Who is going to be our final four? Okay. And you should have seen me. You should have seen me. I kept being like, okay, Serena and Cordell, please. Because I was going to be pissed if it wasn't Serena and Cordell. I was going to be very, very pissed off. But thankfully, most of America was on our side, okay, and understood the assignment. For some reason, they called out Kendall and Nicole's name first. They need to stop calling out their name, because they're giving them a false reassurance that they are actually people that we like, because we don't like them. There's just something so fake about both of them. And Kendall, I'm sorry. I mean, Nicole's fine, but Kendall, no, no. Like, skipping a little bit, but the most recent one, Marco ended up saying that he felt like the girls thought that Kendall was kind of going to be like a Bergie, like loyal, that really good friend. And so what happened in Aftersun when they saw that, that's why they were so hurt. They're like, wait, what? And that's how Kendall had acted like. He had acted like he was like their best friend. He was he was a girl's guy. And then he just flipped it up on them. So Nicole and Kendall were called first. Then Janae and Kenny, which I was also like, okay, fine, great. We love that. We love that. We love that. Then Serena and Cordell. I still get so excited about this. That's Serena and Cordell. And then they made the rest of them, Rob and Cassie, Aaron and Kaylor, and Leah and Miguel go up front before they called the next one. And then the next one they called, and I think they all thought it was going to be Kaylor and Aaron, but it was Leah and Miguel. And then Leah runs to her Powder Puff Girls and gives them a hug. And you know what? This is why I don't like Kendall. Kendall and Nicole, the hater faces that they gave, they were so upset. They were so upset. They couldn't even show or act like they were at all happy for those three at all. And that for me, it's just like, what? Only Aaron and Kaylor deserve it? Even then, Kendall went up to Rob and them and said, Rob and Aaron being like, what am I going to do? And he said, well, Cordell's still here and Kenny's still here. Like, what do you mean, what are you going to do? What do you mean you're going to do? This man does not like being black, honestly. He does not. He does not. And I hate to say that, but he does not. So, one thing. Okay, well, let's first do this first. So I just was really excited about that. I know we have our final four, but basically it's our final three, because let's be real. This is our final three, our Powder Puff Girls and their men. Serena, Leah, and Janae. And honestly, Serena and Cordell need to win. And I think it will be Serena and Cordell number one, Janae and Kenny, Leah and Miguel, and then Nicole and Kendall. That's my hope, at least. So yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight because I want to see our people. Oh, one thing that I did also find was interesting is that during one of these episodes, Cassie and Rob end up having sex. And then later on, they end up saying that they have a kiss later. And then they end up being like, oh, after they'd had sex, they had a kiss. And she's like, oh, this was our first kiss. It's so weird. We had sex before we had a kiss. I was like, what do you mean? What do you, like, where am I? Like, what's happening? Like, you guys didn't kiss at all in the bed while you're having sex? It was just weird. That was just weird. And even, let's move on to the Aftersun now. When they were questioning Rob, they brought up Leah, whatever. And they're like, so could anything happen with Leah? Or do you still have feelings? And he's like, I do have feelings for that girl. And Cassie was sitting there and I was like, wow, that's bold. He's like, I do have feelings for her and I'm always going to have feelings for her. He's like, but I just don't think that we would actually work out. Just so much stuff has happened. I was like, okay. I don't want Leah and him to get back together. I don't think that they're right for each other. I do think that maybe if none of the stuff had happened, especially all the stuff about him trying to basically tear her down, if none of that stuff had happened, then maybe. But at this point, it's like, this guy's not right for you. I don't think that they can get to a good place. I just don't. I also don't know if Leah and Miguel will stay because I don't know. I feel like they're on different. He lives in London. She lives in Calabasas. Like, how are they going to make that work? So I just don't feel like that's going to work out. But then they ask them about, well, what are you guys going to do, Cassie and Rob? And Cassie was like, hey, so, he's been through a lot. So he knows there's no pressure from me. I think we just should go with the flow and kind of like see what happens. And I was like, wow, I don't think she really likes this guy. Like, she's not at all pressed. She's not at all pressed about being with him or anything like that. And they didn't really show his answer to that, but basically it was just like, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think anything's going to happen. Sierra and Harrison was there. It was like a lot of nothing, honestly. And then Kaylor and Aaron came on. And I think the only really interesting part was like, he definitely was trying to act more kosher here and being a lot more like, yeah, I messed up and things like that, which I'm like, okay, there's no defensiveness right now. But they did decide that they're going to, he said instead of going back home, he's just going to stay in America with Kaylor. And you know what? I think he's doing that just because he wants to control her. That's why I think he's doing it. He wants to control her. They even said that they're going to watch the Casa stuff and the episodes together, which I also think is a manipulation control factor. He wants to make sure that he can control her emotions while she's watching it. And when she gets upset, he can be like, no. And he can control the narrative. And that's also why he's not going to leave her side, because he wants to watch her. He wants to make sure that the information is coming from him, because if she doesn't have him, other people will be in her ear. That's what I think. And honestly, if he left, I think she would come to her senses. She'd watch it on her own. Other people, hopefully her family, even though they acted different on the video call, I think people would be like, yeah, no, don't stay with this guy. But if he's there, she's going to have his version of things. So I don't know. So we'll see with that. And then I think that was it, really. I mean, they talked about like what the dates are going to be. I feel like Serena and Cordell's is going to be like a montage of like them from the beginning till now. Like, but then some of them are going to be ATV dates and something else. I'm like, why are Serena Cordell's like just that? I don't know. I felt weird. I was like, shouldn't they have something fun to do too? And then Selly, when she was talking to Kaylor while Aaron was there, she's like, hey, I was also in a similar situation, and I just think you should prepare yourself because it is going to be really tough. Like you haven't seen the worst. And I was like, okay, Selly. Like, she was really warning her, and she was like, it's going to be really hard. Like, the tough part hasn't come yet. I was like, she basically was being like, just warning her. And she's like, but yeah, maybe it is good that you guys watch it together. But I think if Kaylor's smart, which I don't know, she would read in between the lines. And Selly's telling you all you need to know, that there's a lot you haven't seen. This guy is not good for you. And Selly broke up. All these people that are saying that they understand her are all people who had really messed up situations that happened in Casa that ended up breaking up later. Things all got messed up. The guys were not good for them. And they're all trying to warn Kaylor. And Kaylor's just staying there kind of like, I don't know, head in the clouds. Then, I don't know what else there is to say, honestly, other than now on Instagram, Aaron's now talking. Aaron and Kaylor are still together. She's posting these stories on Instagram saying like, ask me questions or whatever. I don't know. He even said something about like, oh, now my villain era starts. I was like, your villain era started in Casa, dude. So I don't know. We'll see. But tonight's episode should be really great. I'm really, really hoping that Serena and Cordell win. I'm really, really hoping. So we'll see. But see you guys tonight. I love these little chats of ours. Love you, mean it. Bye.